Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at theDove.us. Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and what a delight to have back with us today David Curry. He's the president of Open Doors, one of the most impacting ministries that I know that's out there, watching the persecuted church and doing a lot about it around the world. Let me early on give you their website, because I want to encourage you to go to their website, check out what they do. It's a great resource. Support what they do. OpenDoorsUSA.com. That's the website, OpenDoorsUSA.com. And it's just an amazing organization. David, good to see you, my friend. Happy New Year.
To be back with you, Barry. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, listen, you announced this past week the 2015 World Watch List. Tell us about what you're publishing there.
Well, for the last 24 years, Open Doors has been researching the engines of persecution against Christians around the world. And what we discovered this year with the 2015 World Watch List is the greatest rise in violence against Christians in the modern era. That's how significant this is. Whoa. We've seen the number of Christians executed for their faith. These aren't Christians who are killed as collateral damage in a war, but Christians who were murdered for their faith has doubled in the last 12 months.
That is unbelievable. Why? What do you think it is?
Well, I think there are a number of reasons. If you start looking at the list, as you said, it's at opendoorsusa.org. If you go to there, and you'll see these countries, a lot of them, 40 of the top 50 on the list, have elements of Islamic extremists who are organizing and making efforts to eliminate Christianity. They're trying to set up Sharia law and caliphates within their regions. You're talking about people like at number 3 on the list in Iraq, you have the Islamic State. Number 4, Syria, also affected by the Islamic State. But you also have countries in Africa like Nigeria, which is number 10 on the World Watch List. And that's a particularly interesting case because you have an Islamic group. It's a majority Christian country, but you have Boko Haram, which is very similar to Al-Qaeda and a spin-off of Al-Qaeda, but is learning the lessons of the Islamic State in their tactics, in their strategies, and they have killed over 2,100 Christians. If you want to average that out, that means 10 Christians a day on average were killed in the last 12 months. Now think of what has happened in the last few days in France. We lost, tragically, 12 cartoonists, 12 satirists in France, and the world is taking notice. Friends, 10 Christians on average were killed every day last year in Nigeria, and you hardly hear a peep about it. That's what we want to change with the World Watch List.
Wow. Where is North Korea? Because in the past, it's been right at the top.
North Korea is still at the top. It's really an anomaly. If you look at the different persecution drivers, it's really unusual, but it remains for the 13th year in a row at the top of the list. You have a paranoid dictatorship is what I would call it. There's communistic overtones, of course, but really it's all about trying to stay in power and creating a philosophy which worships the leader, not just Kim Jong-un, the current leader, but previous generations as well. So that whole family has set up a dictatorship that is dependent upon the people believing that they're God. And so therefore any ideology which challenges that, and of course Christianity does, becomes an enemy of the state. And when they rank enemies of the state in North Korea, Christians are number 1. That means that almost 70,000 Christians are in labor camps today. That's what makes it number 1. But here's the interesting part of it, Perry. We don't even know. We can't document how many people were murdered for their faith last year. We know some numbers, right, and we don't report the number. We can't absolutely verify. Yet it still remains number 1 on the World Watch.
Any other surprises, David? Obviously the amount of Christians being killed has doubled, but any other surprises or any other countries that have become more active? Okay, sorry about that. I think we had a little bit of a Skype problem. They're going to try to get him back here. Let me encourage you. This is unbelievable. And the fact that we'd have a little technical Skype problem with it just kind of underscores. OpenDoorUSA.com, and you can track the countries and the persecutions around the world. This is This is something that I think we need to get the word out. We certainly need to be praying about this. This just isn't happening over somewhere else, and it doesn't bother us. Look, we should be tremendously moved by this. And yet, even some of the things that are happening in the United States indicates that the heat is being turned up even in our own backyard. David, I think we got you back. I'm sorry about that. Were there any other surprises in addition to the amount of Christians dying for their faith doubling last year? Did you see any countries that maybe moved up a notch that were a surprise to you?
Well, a couple of surprises, Perry. First of all, what's happening in Africa. Last year, we only saw one nation in Africa in the top 10. Now we have 4, and you see it represented: Somalia, Kenya, you've got Nigeria, you've got Eritrea. So you've got a bunch of countries there that they're sort of unusual in that Africa is coming into the picture. And I think that tells you these ideologies are spreading. Here's another interesting thing on the World Watch list. Mexico is on there. It's not high up on the list, but what is happening in Mexico is you have cartels, you have organized crime, which are attacking priests, which are attacking churches that are strongholds in the community for morality. And so that's why we have in our own hemisphere, in our own area here, a country that's ranking, in the 30s in the World Watch list.
So overall, David, it's on a rise. And what do we do here in America? What do you want through Open Doors for us to get as citizens in America? What do you want us to do, and how can we partner with you?
Well, I want us to let our voice be heard. I would love to see Christians and churches in Oregon, all within your listening audience, take the World Watch list at opendoorsusa.org, download it, and pray through it. It's so easy to pray for one country a day. It just takes you a moment. And then tell your friends, share it on social media, because we need people to care. Now, tragically, 12 folks were killed in France, and look at the outpouring of warmth and love for them. But 2,100 believers were killed in Nigeria last year. Nobody says a word about it. Not even the church. And unless the church cares, the other population certainly won't care. So we need people to pray, to care. And of course, there are projects within these countries where you can make a difference for the persecuted church.
David, this certainly suggests that we're leading to some kind of a major clash worldwide over religions. And I guess we have to say that because that seems to be what's on the table.
That's right. I mean, there are a billion. There's a billion or something like that. Muslims around the world, most of them peaceful. We do have ideological differences. Within that is a small group of people, which I term as Islamic extremists, who are using violence to try to push out Christianity within regions where Christianity has been since the very beginning. In Iraq is Nineveh, Mosul. These places that Christianity has been there since the time of Christ. Mm-hmm. So yes, we are going to see issues of Islamic extremism still for the coming months and years. I think all the factors that made this the most violent year in the modern era for Christians are still in place, and they're spreading. So I'm not predicting it's going to get better, but here's the thing. People need to be of hope. We need not live in fear, but we have to be knowledgeable.
How can we partner with you? What are your greatest needs at Open Door?
We need people to pray. That prayer changes everything. We need people to adopt projects, adopt countries, say, I want to make a difference for the widows in Nigeria. There's so many widows of pastors and Christians. We're counseling them. We're counseling the parents of those girls who were kidnapped in Nigeria. You can support these kind of projects. It could be real simple, writing letters of love and support, telling them we're praying for them, taking on a project to help feed Christians who are refugees from their country now that they've been pushed out of Iraq. Anything you could do would be helpful. opendoorsusa.org.
All right. Thanks, my friend. Our prayers are with you. Look forward to staying in touch throughout the year. And if anything happens, you need to get the word out in Oregon, let us know, okay?
I'll do it, Perry. Thank you.
All right. Blessings on you. All right. We'll be right back.